What is up, my guys, my people, my brothers, my brethren? It's your boy Dragato, and today we're going to be talking about Street Fighter 6, which I haven't been talking about in a long time. Mostly I've been doing a lot of boxing videos. But I wanted to talk about Street Fighter 6. I want to talk about the new skins or costumes for a lot of the characters. And the one that I particularly liked the most was the Ryu one, even though some people don't really like the towel on his head or whatever. I really like this costume. I would say the only thing I don't like is maybe the sandals. I never understood how somebody could fight or do anything athletic in sandals, especially like flip flops mainly, which is what he has. And unless you're gonna get it and throw it at somebody like your grandma used to do. But but maybe that should be his new move for the skin. Uh, um, Instead of doing Hadouken, it'd be like a flying chancla, and he just throws it at you. um, but but yeah, man, this is I wasn't playing Ryu for a long time. I was playing Rashid, and I did a little bit of JP for a little bit, and Lily, right? And those were mainly the and I did do Marissa for a little bit too. But Rashid was the main guy that I was like playing with the most. In these last couple of days, I did do Lily because Lily is a lot easier to use, and she's fun. I mean, a lot of people say she's not fun, but I think she is pretty fun. But Ryu hasn't really been, I haven't really been playing him that much at all. The only time I remember playing him is towards the beginning, and when they had that beta, and they had that where you could only pick Ryu and Luke. And I did have fun with him. And at the beginning, I was thinking that maybe I was gonna main him, but then later getting my hands on some of the other characters, you know. And then Rashid, when Rashid came out, he was the main one that I liked. I didn't really like what's the other one's name? Aki, Aki or AKKI. Didn't really like her that much. But but Rashid, that's probably the one that I played the most. He's just really fun. Um, and even though he does have his shortcomings, like his anti-airs aren't really all there. Um, it's just really fun to just move around and zip and zap around the ring and confuse your opponent and make them rage quit sometimes. But so Rio wasn't really interesting to me, but it's crazy how a new costume, like a new skin, actually brings so much life into breathe. What's it called? Breathes so much life. Breathes or just brings. Yeah, brings so much life to a character and makes you want to use them more. Um, and that's what's going on right now with me and Ryu. I'm using him a lot with his new costume. I like his eighth color wave with this third costume, um, which is the purple and yellow moon, which I always thought it was an underrated color combination of colors, the purple with the yellow. But yeah, especially like when I win and I get this shot here. Um, but yeah, I've seen a lot of the artwork for him, and I think they definitely chose the right ones. Some of these look a little iffy, but I like his original, like his number one skin or his costume. I really like that one, and I like this one too. And the other one, the classic one, I know a lot of people like that one more. I personally don't really like it that much. Um, I like this one, and I like the one the number one, like the one with the kind of like a sash, that he has like a sash and he has like a little cape. That one's pretty cool too. So Those two are my favorite, and also this one has a backstory. If you guys played World Tour, this costume actually has a backstory to it, and it's pretty cool. You know, it's like people are trying to get Ryu to relax because he's so stoic and he's so he's pretty boring. You know, he's he's a very boring guy. His life is fighting, and he's kind of like I guess you could say he could be autistic because he has his whole life is about fighting, and he just cares about fighting, and that's like his thing. And people are always trying to get him to relax and stuff, and to look normal, which is they give him like jackets and stuff like that so he could dress like a regular person. But then he goes out of his way to put a big ass towel on his head just just to remind himself that he's still a freaking nerd. That's why I like it so much because it's so him, like it's so uniquely him. Um, um, and they have like a thing to where he's like posing, and he looks like he thinks he's bad, like he thinks he's cool. In a weird way, he is cool, but it's not like purposely cool, which is like the best kind of cool. It's like he's not cool, but he is cool. It's weird. It's just a weird thing. But but yeah, and I got a hair in my mouth. Oh, my cat. Um, but I like the hands, the hand wraps. You know, it's very boxing like. I really like that. I've always liked characters with hand wraps. That's always been like a go-to thing when I draw characters. I like to draw them like that. Um, I think the towel is a little bit too thick in my opinion. I like thick bandanas, kind of like a cholo style, which I've always wanted a fighting character that looks like a cholo. And I think this one was gonna go for that, but then they were like, "Now we're just gonna give him a towel," which is like just make him a cholo who nobody cares. Like, of course, a cholo Ryu, it would be cool. Um, so the bandana would probably be a little bit looking more like Metal Gear Solid bandana. That's how a cholo kind of wears their bandana. But they went for this, and to be honest, I like it. Like I said, my favorite colorway is in this one. It's the purple and yellow, which is the eighth option. Um, but yeah, I'm really enjoying playing with him in this particular costume, and I enjoy it way better than all of the other ones. In fact, it's the only one I bought because of that. Because even though I was playing with Lily and with Marissa as well, I enjoy for Lily, I like her second costume, which is the one where she has like a Mexican hoodie with I think they call it a Mexican Baja hoodie. It's a very popular hoodie that hippies wear a lot. She's wearing that, and she's wearing like a little hat, and she has like a little backpack, which I think it's extremely cute. She reminds me of a little elf, and when I'm playing with her, I always pick that skin, right? Because it makes me feel like I'm a little elf fighting with like um, giant creatures and stuff. So it's just a little thing I'm imagining, I guess. And the Ken's costume, I really didn't enjoy that much, so I didn't I like that one. But anyways, getting back to the reason I didn't buy Lily's um, third costume is because I didn't really like it that much. I liked her hair, the way her hair looked. Her hair looked very nice in the third costume, but I still prefer the the second costume. I think I do the third color wave. Um, but yeah, and for Marissa, everybody's going crazy for the wedding dress. I think it looks cool, but I still like the original Marissa better than the second and the third. So a lot of these, and even Ken, I like the original costume. I know a lot of people don't like it because they say he looks like a hobo, but to me it was a little insulting because I actually do wear stuff like that, especially in the winter. I do wear my boots and I tuck it into my pants. Sometimes I put socks over that. and I wear like a hoodie, open hoodie that's long, and it has pockets in it. So when people say that he looked like a hobo with his original costume or his original skin, I kind of take take it personal because I'm not used to it. I still do dress that way. So but yeah, his original is way better in my opinion. I actually liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. Like I said, they say he looked like a hobo, but I think it's better than this one. This one here, it's something weird about it. I can't put my finger on what's so weird about it, but there's something just not um, right about it for me. I just don't know. Maybe it's the hair. I don't know, but I don't dig it at all. But anyways, guys, I only bought the real one, Ryu one, because of that. Because I enjoyed that one, and actually I already had the coins, enough coins to buy it, so it was actually kind of free um, for me. So I bought the Ryu costume, and that's about it. And other than that, I'm gonna wait for Rashid's. I'm gonna wait for Ed because Ed is actually one of the characters that's for me the most anticipated character in the game, the most anticipated DLC character in the game, next to maybe someone like Akuma. And I'm talking about for me personally. Why? Because he's like a kickboxer, right? And I really enjoy kickboxing type characters. Um, and I think he's gonna be really fun to play, And judging by the last two DLCs, which was Rashid and Aki, these are characters that are kind of hard to play. There's a lot of thinking involved, and you have to think two, three steps ahead of what you're already doing, right? So you got to be constantly on there. I feel like Ed is gonna be less of that. I had a little drink of water there. It's gonna be less of that, and it's gonna be a little bit more simple. It's gonna be something more akin to like Ken or maybe Ryu, because Ryu is easy to use too, but he just some of his frames and some of the attacks are a little shorter than Ken's and hit less times than Ken's, which is usually how it goes with the differences between Ryu and Ken. But Ryu does hit harder, so um, but I think Ed is gonna be, in my opinion, probably gonna be easier to use. And you could judge by um, some of the characters that you have to fight in World Tour. They're kind of showing you how he's gonna fight a little bit. It's gonna be kind of simple to use, in my opinion. Um, and I also like what he's wearing. He's very boxer like. He's kind of doing the hoodie thing the way I like the open hoodie thing with the jeans, and he actually has the socks over the the jeans. Um, so that's cool too. And and yeah, I'm gonna wait for him, and I'm gonna try him out, and maybe I'll start maining him. But for now, I'm gonna stick to Ryu, and I'm gonna go probably back and forth between him and Rashid. Um, Also, really quick, I was gonna mention before continuing to talk about Ed. I have been experimenting with different controllers. I've tried a leverless, I've tried a stick, and a pad, and I've come to the conclusion that depending on who you use, certain types are better. In my opinion, like people like Rashid and people that are very like they're very complicated. I personally like to play in pad, you know, and then um, something like, for example, JP or Marissa. Those, in my opinions, are better and like leverless. It's a little bit more simple, a little bit less intuitive, in my opinion. Um, and then someone like Ryu, Ken, your typical shotos that they use a lot of circular or half circles, quarter circles, and stuff like that. Um, those are much better with stick, in my opinion. Your classic like arcade stick. But anyways, this is the quick. kind of like a thought that I had, and yeah, that's personally what I'm gonna do. So I can't wait to see this guy here and see what he looks like and what he plays like. In this picture here, he looks like he's doing like a shorter row or something, and he just threw a jab and brought it back. So that's pretty cool, like a flicker jab. Um, and Ed in the last video game, I didn't play him because I didn't play that much of that game. So I'm very interested in what he's gonna play like in this one. Um, and I hear that after Ed, then Akuma comes, and then after Akuma, when Akuma is released, that's when they're going to release the costumes for Rashid, the third costume for Rashid, and the third costume for Aki, and that's gonna be good for me because that means I could be interested in Rashid again, because it doesn't mean that I'm not interested in Rashid anymore, but it's like I don't know, it's like I'm not saying it's hard to go back to Rashid now that Kin has a new costume. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's just since Ryu has the new costume, it's like I'm putting more time in him than Rashid. Um, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, that is it for today. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.